Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to podcastjuice.net. My name is Michael Dean, and we are here today on the Michael Dean Show. Joining me today, Mr. Ant Pooh. Sir, how are you?
Man, when you try to play the stock market, you can lose. Bruh's down 1,500 after being up 5.
Damn.
Okay, Duke.
Effing Tesla.
Man, big Willie talk. I love it.
Duke and Duke commodities.
Duke. Also joining us, the man with the voice. The man who said if he was drop kicked by Prince, he would have to handle that situation.
Oh, seriously?
Mr. Big Sexy and Saxer, how are you?
I'm doing all right. Get hunkered down for the heat wave this weekend.
Oh, okay. Really? All right. Yeah, it's well, this is a 3-day weekend here in the States. It was Memorial Day, where we believe we salute and celebrate all of the veterans and armed forces. I hope I'm getting that right. Shout them out. But I would say,
Mike.
Yeah, go ahead.
Labor Day.
Oh, this is Labor Day. Well, I just like to salute my peoples anyway. How about that? But it's Labor Day. So Labor Day means the turn up in America will be quite real. At least I know here in Seattle, usually every Labor Day, they tear this up. And being that they've already been tearing it up for, all the Black Lives Matter and all the other stuff going on, it's about to get hectic out here. Woo. So that's why my black ass will be at home. I'm not trying to get caught up in that, but be safe. There's a lot of stuff going on in America, man. It's like, man, be safe out here. If you want to go out there and protest and march, a little common sense, do it in the daytime. Nighttime, I'm gonna refer back to Houdini. The freaks come out. The foolishness is gonna start. That's when it gets violent and the guns busting. Stay at home, cause hey, man, you gotta live. Anyway, let's get this thing started. I feel like it's been a little minute since we've been on the mic. It's been a hectic week. Where do we want to start? Shit. Oh, let's start with Dr. Dre. Let's go to Dre. And I think we mentioned a few shows ago, and I'm sure everyone knows Dr. Dre and his wife, unfortunately, are getting a divorce, kind of going down that road. And there was some talk about a prenup. There wasn't a prenup. There is a prenup. So you had that going on. But now Dr. Dre's wife, I was wondering, like, what was going to be the next play, because they're playing this out in the media. I'm looking at a headline here. It says, Dr. Dre's estranged wife breaks down $2 million. Breaks down $2 million? Yeah, she's asking for $2 million per month. So she breaks down that figure. But I was waiting for this one. Claims domestic abuse.
There it is.
See it?
There it is.
So let me go ahead and give Vlad some shine here. I'm looking at Vlad. So the legal issues between Dr. Dre and his estranged wife, Nicole Young, are heating up. And here's the breakdown of the $2 million per month spousal support expenses. So she's saying this. I must be I'm in the wrong game. Apparently, I should have got more into gangster rap back then. But her laundry and cleaning. Guess how much she needs for laundry and cleaning per month?
$30.
$10,000, nigga. God damn, how many clothes you clean? $10,000. That's like the. What do you have, like you cleaning for the football team or something? Like, how the hell? $10,000. Damn. Anyway, $10,000.
Maybe it's Egyptian silk.
It may be. That's a hell of a bill. Clothes. How much you think she needs for clothes a month?
See, she should already have clothes.
Well, she's in quarantine, so she shouldn't need new clothes.
Well, hey,
right?
man.
Was she getting dressed up to look good on Zoom?
Hey. Well, apparently she needs $135,000 a month for clothes. This shit is funny just saying it. God damn. Okay.
This just in. Would you like to hear the quote from 50 Cent?
Sure. Go ahead.
And I quote about the $2 million a month request. These bitches be crazy. How do you even ask for $2 million a month?
Right. Be careful, 50. Be careful. Tread lightly now. Tread lightly. I don't know. I mean, I know Dre is definitely going through it, but I don't know if he wants you calling the mother of his kids a bitch out here in public. But that's Big Willie talk. Be careful. Telephone, cell phone, and email. I didn't know there was extra charges for email.
Hey, that's at best $500.
500, 100.
I need you to step your game up, man. Step your game up.
No, I'm just saying, no, ain't no way to word. It should be in thousands, let alone tens of thousands.
20,000, nigga.
Oh, hell. She better have that this better be 1 terabyte per second speed.
Well, I guess, it's like 6G. She on 6G with her stuff. So that's the next level. Maybe the email is overly secure, encrypted, Pentagon level, I don't know, $20,000.
She emailing, the ghost of Bin Laden?
Easy or something. Oh, whoa, bad joke. Okay. Now, this is an interesting one. Education, tuition, and living expenses. Now,
the kids are grown, right?
Maybe they're further in their education, right?
Well, he should be taking care of that.
Well, apparently, so let's put this in the context. Her clothing per month is $35,000. How much you think education would be?
Yeah, the way you set this up, you seem like a clown. So I'm gonna say 15,000.
Not bad, but she's gonna need about 60 grand a month for education.
A month?
I would have thought that would have been more than the clothes, but I guess, clothes is more important.
Well, I mean, she got to look good in school so she can make those great network connections for her post-grad,
so she can get a good job, right?
All I got.
Oh, okay. Well, we're not done.
Wait.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, I'm just trying to understand. And Mark, help me out. What education is she getting that's going to cost 60 grand a month? I can't bother to do the math. That's
maybe she got private tutors
a year?
Maybe private tutors or something. I don't know.
Damn.
Maybe she's she's doing one-on-one classes with Jeff Bezos.
But don't you get the summer off? So what you still need the 60,000 for?
Well, it was tuition and living expenses. So apparently she's living at the place she goes to school. I'm trying to cape. I don't know.
But I'm like, aren't most of the schools distant learning?
Well, it's not over. It's not over yet. When she's not cleaning and doing laundry for $10,000 and getting $135,000 in clothes, and when she's not talking on that $20,000 a month phone and email, and while she has time off from her $60,000 a month education, there's entertainment.
What entertainment?
Disney Plus ain't that much.
How much? Yeah, how much you think she needs for entertainment a month?
I'm gonna say just the boldness. It's got to be 250,000.
I wouldn't be mad at you for saying that, and it would make sense in the context. But apparently, she must be literally flying in Beyonce and some of these people to perform in her bedroom because she needs $900,000 a month for entertainment.
But ain't no concerts, no sporting events.
I was gonna say she's probably getting them privately flown into her bedroom to play.
She's doing the coronavirus testing and everything.
She's like, I need a one-on-one show at Rihanna. Okay. Wow. Jesus. That's some bookings right there, boy.
Now, I know she has receipts that this is what they were spending together, correct? I know she has those receipts.
I guess. Well, we got 2 more left here.
Well, I'm sorry, I gotta take a step back. On top of that, like, he's Dr. Dre. I'm sure he was comped a lot of this stuff.
You never know, man.
Okay.
We got to level up, apparently. Next up is charitable contributions.
Of course.
Got to spread his wealth.
Spread it around.
She's got to be able to give money per month.
Did you give? Okay.
See, there you go. So I'm not going to even ask you to guess on this. She needs to be able to give at least $125,000 a month to charity. That's a
hell of
cold
charity.
piece, man. That's a cold. To put that in there is cold.
So she wants to donate, but not from what she's given from Dre. She wants Dre to add in money for her. Wow. So she can, wow.
Claire $4 needs that jet, bro. This is going to the church. You got to tie. Now tie not your ties now. All right. Now, lastly, with all of that,
you know what? To be fair, she does get all this. She probably does need to tie because she came up.
Yeah, she came up a lot. All right. So, lastly, we have the mortgage.
Mortgage on a house she. Okay, go ahead.
So the mortgage at least is $100,000 a month. So that's why Nicole Young, she needs that $2 million. Come on, Dre. Take care of your queen now.
Okay, this is why she broke. This is why she ain't gonna give you shit. How is your entertainment budget larger than your house mortgage budget?
They are black. Come on now.
Senior living.
No matter how much money we got, we still gonna be us now.
$900,000 for entertainment, $100,000 for the. Come on, bro.
Damn. Wow.
I guess she is gonna release that detox album.
She's gonna come out with an album called "Still Broke." Still broke.
But you know his other baby mama's got to be looking at this like, what?
Where's Michelle? Michelle. See, Dre, I told you, Dre, you should have. Where's my money, Dre?
Were they married? Was Michelle married?
No, they just have kids.
Okay.
But here we go. So here's maybe this is sort of alluding to maybe her receipts or maybe why she's like, because when I first heard the $2 million, I was like, man, she must be mad. Like, did he have a baby on the side or something? Because this is something else, man. So here's what she's putting in the pot. Now it says, along with that, Nicole claims Dr. Dre had a, quote, history of violence and coercive control, both before and during the marriage. Young claims that she was in fear in a particular instance when Dre texted her, quote, "Why are you ignoring me?
What?
Why are you ignoring me? Should I come see you?" So, and as of now, Nicole Young is also asking for Dr. Dre to cover her attorney fees.
You knew that was coming. Where's Benjamin Crump? Shit.
Mr. Big Sexy, man. I mean, you're a lawyer. Man, what's your hot take on this situation, man?
All right. First things first. It is not unusual for one spouse to request the other spouse to pay legal fees. That's not unusual. Temporary support also is not unusual. It's generally based on income, but these numbers she's throwing around, and I have not seen any of the documents, obviously, but she's out of her fucking mind. One thing also just popped up on my screen. Apparently, the soon-to-be former Mrs. Young was married to NBA player Sedale 3 before she got with Dre. So that, to me, would imply that Dre has a prenup. Why? Because this chick has a pattern. So I would hope his people got in his ear and said, she's about this life, man. So hopefully they got in his ear and set him up straight. Because the way that she is doing all of this publicly, first of all, will have zero bearing in court. None. Because in California, there are 2 grounds for divorce: irreconcilable differences and incurable insanity. That's it. So all these allegations he did this and that means nothing. She's just trying to stir the pot and get sympathy. Again, which is part of the game. I understand that. Assuming he does have the prenup in place, once this thing goes forward, the prenup will control. As far as support, I believe the kids are all over 18, so she can throw that out the window too. I want to hear that.
Woo. Well, what are you saying, Big Amp who?
I will say, listening to Mark, I will say we can't totally dismiss the domestic violence accusation because, Dre does have that history.
I can't dismiss it either, but again, it's not going to be a factor in a spousal support award.
True, but code of public opinion, he might not want her to go to court and put all that out there because he has millions, hundreds of millions, billions even on the line. So I think it's probably a play that, okay,
don't fight with me, nigga.
Yeah, you don't. Exactly. You don't want me to say anymore, do you? So let's just settle this as smooth as possible. Now, I don't think she deserved that $2 million, but what's your name worth? Dre, I hope you got that prenup, and I hope it's airtight.
Man, it's an unfortunate situation for sure. Obviously, there's something happened between those, which happens in any relationship, but something happened that was so bad where they had to get a divorce, and then it turned ugly. Like, they must not even speak really and get along for it to be played out like this. Because she's playing like Big Sexy. If you were her lawyer, though, would you play similar sort of type of thing? If you knew like this guy has probably $1 billion and you could maybe get a lot more as opposed to whatever that prenup said or something, would you kind of play a tactic like this?
I'd want to see the prenup first, and as an attorney, I would try to break the prenup. Now, once I've broken the prenup, it's Dodge City out there. We can get into it. I would never take it public like this because, again, throwing mud just ratchets up the drama and, bad feelings. It's like we always said, all these gangster movies, we can do this two ways. We can do this like gentlemen, or we can get some ghetto shit. Keep it behind closed doors. Dre, look, you don't want us to take this thing to the street. We've broken the prenup. You need to give my client X, and we'll keep it all quiet, and we go on our merry little way. Because you notice, Dre hasn't said a word. She's out there running her mouth.
Yeah, true.
And I'm just looking now. Apparently, they got married in '96, which I am pretty certain predates that Apple money. So, yeah, he better have a prenup.
Man. Well, we're definitely, it's probably going to continue to play out in the media until.
And don't get me wrong. They were married 14 years. She's entitled to a chunk of support. I'm not saying she's not, but $2 million a month, shit.
Man, well, I guess you're supposed to ask for more.
Ask for the moon, yeah,
and then sort of bring it down. But yeah, man, it's unfortunate to see it. What they say, you hate to see it, play out there like that. But I guess we keep our eyes open. Hopefully, they can get it together, and before it gets super ugly, because I'm sure both of them probably got some dirt on each other, but why would you want to drag your family through something like that? But
see, and he's from what we're saying thus far, by not saying anything, he's trying to, take the high road here.
Yeah. And I think he kind of has to, just because I think at this point, he's so associated with big corporations like Apple and stuff, and I would not imagine they're like, you're not going to be out there a part of us in the foolishness. You're going to have to fix it. Fix it, Dre. That's why Dre, fix it. Before she get to doing something crazy, because we don't have time for that. So yeah, he on a whole other level now. He can't be out there like if it was back in the day, Dre. Imagine if it was back in the day, Dre. Wow, he would have beat the shit out of her. I guess that's sad to say that, but that was his get down.
I'm curious to see how the judge rules on her request for $2 million a month, because no, I don't see that happening.
Yeah, he doesn't. What he doesn't want to happen, and she sort of seems to allude to it. And I said this when this story first broke. He don't want her to go pull that card and then sort of go pull D Barnes and some other Michelle and some other people, and they do some united front thing and get on social media and all that. Yeah, he can't win that, even if he, you know what I mean. Just he can't win that battle. So he's gonna have to go ahead and settle that out. and just take the L and keep it pushing. Go ahead and release that detox and get your or whatever. It ain't worth all that. But anyway,
what did Kanye say? When they leave with half. Damn.
All right. Let's see what else is going on here. And speaking of just allegations, thing like that, let's jump into Ray Fisher real quick. Shout out to Jody's Corner.
His career is now over.
So Ray Fisher, for those who don't know, he played Cyborg in the Justice League movie that came out a few years ago. And then you're going to see him even in a greater capacity when they re-release this movie next year on HBO Max as an unedited or uncut version of the movie. But he had recently came out and was saying there was some, I don't know if he said discrimination or just bullying or what exactly was the situation, but he made some claims against, I think it was Josh Whedon, Jeff Johns. Well, Josh Whedon, of course, he was the director of, he came in to finish directing Justice League. You also know him from Buffy and the Avengers movie. And then Jeff Johns, who was a big comic book, DC Comics writer, was also a very big guy in DC studios. I don't know if it's DC studios or the DC films and TV stuff. But he was saying that there was some shenanigans going on behind the scenes, particularly with Jeff Johns. And he was making some claims, kind of like trying to put them on blast and call them out. And he'd been doing this pretty loudly on social media, and to the point where Warner Brothers said, okay, you know what? We're going to launch an investigation to get to the bottom of this and see what's going on. And when he did this, a lot of people kind of raised their eyes and was like, man, you mean Jeff Johns? He's very beloved within the community. And of course, Josh Whedon. And he's like, yeah, they was doing some stuff and they was teaming up on me and blah, blah, blah. So I was like, okay. And then I saw that Ray Fisher had tweeted something yesterday. I don't have it in front of me. Maybe you guys have it, where he was saying like the head of Warner Brothers called him on the phone and was trying to maybe see if Ray would tone it down. And Ray was saying that the head of Warner Brothers was willing to throw Josh Whedon. And there's another person who I don't have his name, who's going to throw them under the bus if he eased off of Jeff Johns' neck. Like, yo, let Jeff Johns live. And Ray Fisher was, being defiant in the tweet saying, nah, I'm not letting up. Damn that. Let's get this investigation popping. A few hours later, Warner Brothers released a statement saying, nah, it didn't go like that. We didn't, no one was trying to throw anybody under the bus. Matter of fact, we had this investigation by a third party, and Ray Fisher wasn't cooperating. And they were saying, so we did this investigation, and with that said, we didn't see no wrongdoing. And to even throw it, well, I think this is where they throw on sort of the blackball angle or like, no, nigga, you done angle. They was like, Ray Fisher came to the head of Warner Brothers. He wanted to holler at the head of Warner Brothers Pictures, who they were saying who wasn't the head of Warner Brothers during the time when these movies were being made. So it wasn't like he was the guy anyway, and was talking like, well, yeah, Jeff Johns and Josh Whedon, they're not being receptive to my script changes.
Excuse me? Oh, hell no.
So, can you, and so they're like, that's they put that in there for a reason. Like, you ain't really been in no big movies before.
Yeah, you're the new guy, man.
You're gonna tell them how to do script changes, and then you mad because they don't want to do that. I know they were probably like, Nick, they didn't say that. Let me stop saying that N word. They were probably bruh, sir. Them motherfuckers over there at Disney didn't give George Lucas no consideration on the script for the shit he created. And you think we gonna give you? Let you come in here and tell us? Stop it. Ray, relax. Just say the lines and get this check, Ray. It's not that difficult. So they were like, please, man. Of course they ain't gonna listen to you. That's the game. I'm sure every actor was, hey, I think we could do it this way. If he just said, just read the script. What is? Well, let us handle the writing and you do the acting. How about that? We're paying for this shit anyway. So they were basically trying to show like he's just mad because they didn't want to consider his ideas. And now he's coming. Now, again, that may or may not be true, but this is the line they're going with for a particular reason, in my opinion, to really say, look, we gave him the investigation. Now, again, they could be lying. It could be like, Jeff Johns is too big to the game for us, so we'll sweep that under the rug. But nonetheless, they're letting you know where they stand. And they're basically saying, you're done. Because now it's going to look like you are that actor entitled who wants to come in and dictate stuff who don't have no juice. And then you're going to throw other executives under the bus in the media. And then you're going to drag the head of the corporation into it too and try to throw him under the bus? No, we're on code. This is the game. Because if they was to allow that to go down, that would change the whole game. Wouldn't it be, so actors can just come in and put people on blast on social media and tell executives what to do? Nah, it ain't gonna happen. Not unless you got some receipts. And unfortunately, as of now, Ray Fisher has produced receipt. Just been talking. So unless he got something waiting to drop, he's done. Which is unfortunate, because I guess he was, the thing is, he's going to be the big focus of this Justice League movie when it comes out, because they had cut all his stuff out earlier. And they were trying to get him to be in the new Flash movie to reprise his role. With some of the research I did, it looked like they're kind of writing him out of that Flash. Like, you can forget that. So I don't know what's the next step for this brother. I was trying to understand how he was going to play this, because he was going there talking a lot of big stuff, and he wanted to be very vague in terms of like what actually happened. Oh, it's going to come out later. I can't say this. And now, so now Warner Brothers, they just said, boop. Nah, man. Nope. We don't see nothing.
Don't they have a different cyborg on Doom Patrol?
They do, yes. I believe they do. I haven't seen that show, but yes, they do.
Yeah, I think he's going to get a promotion to the big league.
That would be funny. They pull him through the multiverse and pull him
on through.
Man, Ray. Ampu, any thoughts on this?
Yeah. Just because Warner Bros. Put this out doesn't mean it's true. However, they are putting Ray into a corner to, produce the receipts or shut up. And right now, he doesn't have these receipts, and it's like, I don't know what to say. I mean, the thing that gets me is that Warner Brothers is doing all this for Jeff Johns. Okay, yeah, I guess he's made them a lot of money for the comic book side, but I mean, this ain't Russo's or...
Well, he's tied into a lot of these movies. He's the producer on a lot of these film and movie TV projects, so he's a big deal. They can't just pull him out of there because he's tied into all that shit.
He's definitely deeply in there, man.
What I need to know is what role did he play in making all this money? Because I know the roles the Russos have played, Waititi has played. I even get and understand the roles James Gunn has played. Kevin Feige, hell yeah. Jeff Johns.
Jeff Johns is the producer.
Okay,
Jeff Johns is the writer, man.
Writer of the comics or the shows and the films?
I think both, actually.
Both.
I need to see those receipts.
Go ahead, pull them up, man.
Go look at the credits of all these movies and stuff.
I see the credits.
He's a top producer. He ain't this little bottom dude. They answer to him. so he obviously got a lot of juice.
This guy's got a big universe.
Way more than Ray Fisher.
Yeah, absolutely. But to me, I'm just like, I'm not seeing the body of work to warrant Warner Brothers going out of their way to try to protect this guy from these accusations from Ray Fisher. So I'm just sitting in the middle like, okay, well, he said, she said. So Ray, I'm sorry, dude. You got to come with something.
Remember, you were in America. And so you just put that lens on it. It's like, well, okay, Ray. When you say, well, why is the difference between them? And then they'd be like, well, what has Ray Fisher been in? He was in on Broadway, right?
Oh, yes?
Yeah, that's where he comes from. He's a stage actor. And then this was, I believe this might have been his first movie, was Justice League. And then, and they cut his parts out of the movie that was released, right? So that lets you know this is how we think about you, first of all. And then you're going to come in here and drop the race or insinuate some sort of, in today's world, and you're going to go to the press with it. Even if he was telling the truth, he's done. Unless he got concrete facts, receipts. It don't even matter what level Jeff Johns is at. You're putting the game on blast. And they're never going to let you do that. Not unless they're forced in a corner to. And he ain't forced nobody in a corner. He's just a black actor talking crazy in the media, whether he's true or not. You don't get that sort of, they don't give you no rope to hang them. They just played the social justice warrior card to say, we'll go ahead and do the investigation because they probably know he ain't got no receipts. And they've got all the rest of them on code. That's why I'm like, okay, so Ray Fisher, you dropping game. How many other of his co-workers back in this play? Zack Snyder back him up? Because Zack's his boy. Nope. Zack is his boy. But did Zack come out and say, you know what? I stand with Ray? Jason Momoa, who was on the set, did he come out and say, you know, I was there too. I saw it. Did he come out? Ben Affleck, did he come out? Gal Gadot? They've been quiet as a mouse. And they got juice. They got movies under their belt. $1 billion movies. You think they could say something and then people gonna listen. Did they say anything? Ain't said shit. They on the set too. Was Ray Fisher on a different set than the rest of the bigger actors on the thing? So they left that brother out there to dry. Because whether or not it was true or not, they ain't sacrificing their career over this shit.
So you said they went Terry Crews.
Hey, again, unless you got some receipts, they're like, hey, listen, bro, they don't never listen to what fuck we say. They're always assholes. That's how they game. When producers, shut up and get over there and do the part. I don't want to hear it. You're the talent. That's the game, bro. If Ben Affleck, who is big in the game, if he can sit there and take that, you're going to take it. And if he don't take it, you think he going to come out and go on social media and start airing people out? When does that ever work? That's not strategic. You're not going to air out Hollywood. You think you're going to win? You better have some video footage. You better have some footage, audio footage of Jeff Johns. Just do it, nigger. But if you ain't got nothing like that, and he just dismissed you in front of everybody, and you're hurt, your feelings are hurt. I hate to tell you, brother, you're not gonna make it far in nothing. If that's the case, if you mad because they didn't want to listen to you and they just dismissed you and maybe they clowned you in front of the set, you ain't gonna make it then.
I'm sorry, this is sounding like Wendy and Lisa going off on the kid.
Well, probably, it's the same type of thing. Like, you because he hurt your feelings, man. Shit, my Clay Davis. Stop it, Ray. Stop it.
I will say this: I do not know the other gentleman, Joss Whedon, but I know Jeff Johns. And when this story broke, I didn't buy it for a second. Now, you can say it about a lot of people, not Jeff. No. Jeff is not that kind of dude, man. So I don't know who got in Ray's ear to gas him up. Maybe he's pissed because all his stuff got left on the cutting room floor. I don't know. But nah, man, you picked the wrong dude because no one bought that shit. Then they did an investigation and found nothing. Yeah, you got to go, Ray. So enjoy making Soul Plane Part 2, the COVID years, because you're done, man.
Hilarious. Yeah, I'll wait to see what his next move is. Because, yeah, man,
Ray is done.
That's a hard play, brother.
He's going to be playing, what's my girl's name? Who pissed off Spielberg? The real hot one? Oh, you're talking about, she just got a movie. She was in the Transformer movies.
Megan Fox?
Megan Fox. He's going to get the Megan Fox treatment and be put in time out for a few years.
I mean, I guess unless he wants to get on his butt breaking, he ain't going to recover like Megan did.
Hilarious. I just caught what you said. That's not right.
I'm just saying because to the community, Megan still looks good, so they thinking like, yeah, we can make some money off of you, and we might be able to get some favors from Megan.
Wow,
Ray, are you willing to walk that track?
Wow, what the track? Wow, I saw what you did there. Yeah, I'm looking at something just came out here. It says the actor who played Cyborg previously alleged that the directors, so he's talking about Joss Whedon, his on-set treatment of the cast and crew of Justice League was gross, abusive, unprofessional, and completely unacceptable. He also said that Whedon, who has a track record of fucked up allegations to his name, in case you weren't aware, was enabled in many ways by former DC Entertainment president Jeff Johns. So that's why he's a big deal over there. And former Warner Brothers Entertainment Vice President John Berg. So, yeah, man, I mean, you're saying there was the cast. So he was speaking up on behalf of the cast?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, man. They
held him out the dry. They're like, I don't know what he on.
I know, they must have had a private meeting or something. And Ray's, okay, guys, I'll do this. Yeah, Ray. Ben.
Hey, go ahead, Ray.
Yeah,
right
Ray,
behind you.
Go ahead. Ray, let me ask you a question. Do you bleed? No, DC fans got that. Bruh, you were, they set you up for failure, brother. Because if y'all didn't stand up there united with the big dogs talking, you the little fish, man.
I mean, all you had to do was look at Guardians of the Galaxy. When James Gunn got pushed out, they united, put out a statement.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
look at Batista. He's like, this might be the case of one person going at Disney and winning. Is he called him out like, y'all can get rid of me. I'm cool.
Yep,
and
he did say that.
And that's where Ray probably saw that. Like, I'm gonna do that.
What's Batista,
what's that meme where where the dude got his hand underneath his and then cutting this thing? Nah, you don't want to do that, right? No, I'm gonna tell him I won't be in any further movies. I'm gonna tell him I ain't gonna be in no further movies.
Oh, that was Jonah Hill. That's right.
Yeah. I don't know
nah, bro, no.
I don't know if you got the juice like that, Playboy.
It's like, I want to be on cold with Ray, but come on, bro. Give us something, please.
I can't help you, Ray.
Because right now, you looking like the Negro that cried wolf.
And you know what the next movie's gonna be? Meteor Man 2, starring Jussie Smollett and Ray Fisher. You Niggas Live Productions. Damn it, Ray. I had high hopes. High hopes for you, brother.
See, I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I'm gonna take it to another direction here. I didn't like Cyborg being the Justice League from jump. I mean, when they did the first book with Jim Lee, punk, with that relaunch, they took Cyborg out of the Titans for no reason. I take that back. We all know the reason, but that was a bullshit reason to do it because they had John Stewart if they had to go that route. So that was bullshit all the way around.
Man. All right. Well, hopefully it ends well for him. If nothing else, again, Justice League Snyder Cut is coming. He'll be featured. Maybe he'll get some other roles off of that.
I don't think so.
But yeah. All right. Okay, moving on. Real quick, I want to divert from movies. We're going to come back to movies in a second. I just want to get into this real quick. Has anybody had a chance to listen to the Prince, the official podcast, The Story of Sign of the Times? They've put out 2 episodes so far. Have you guys had?
I had no idea this was out.
Yeah, they've started.
I listened to both of them.
What'd you think about so far, Big Sexy?
Honestly?
No, a lot.
I think we do it better.
Oh, interesting. Wow. I would.
Sorry. I'm not trying to be a haterade guy or anything like that. I think it's good. I think we're better. I think we go deeper.
Pause.
Like in this last episode, they had Susan Rogers on. We had Susan Rogers first, and we got a lot more information from her. They did have Susanna on, and let me be clear, I'm not drinking the haterade. But Susanna seems to be in it for Susanna and not really about, the music. And theirs is a fluff piece. Ours is CNN. That's how I look at it.
Interesting. I didn't know you were going that way with it. Okay. Well, I've heard them. First of all, let me salute Andrea Swinson. She's the host of that, puts it on. Met her, went to the radio station one time. Salute to her. I think I see a different. I mean, to me, they're telling a story, and they're specifically talking about Sign of the Times, and they've got access to all these people. And how I know, for me, I would love to just hear just a pure Wendy and Lisa 2-3 hour blowout, just everything. But I understand that they got to edit it in chunks to sort of tell a narrative story. Is what they're doing. So I thought it was cool. I think it's great for a person who doesn't know much about Prince to listen to that. I think it would, you know what I mean? Like it kind of walk you through. Because sometimes I feel like the interviews we do are great for like if you're a Prince fan and you don't have to explain a lot of things. You can just go right into stuff. So that's why I see the difference. But I thought it was cool though. And I know there's more coming. I want to say there's like 6 or 7 episodes of
8
this.
total, I believe.
Oh, 8? Okay. And I've seen people online who are like, where? Let me throw this. Here's racial warning.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, here we go. So y'all can unsubscribe and click off now. We're okay. I've seen some people mention like, man, they don't have any black people talking, and they did. On the first episode, they had Brown Mark. He said like a sentence or something. They had him on there.
So it's like Purple Rain Part 2, huh?
Yeah. Hilarious. Hilarious. Here you go. but I've, the first episode I would say was probably more about that particular episode was more about the revolution and how they contributed to, and they made a lot of those songs or worked on those songs early on, and specifically Wendy and Lisa, because they were kind of featuring more of them. The second episode was more so about Susanna, as you said, and really like her relationship with Prince and them living in their house and coming up with these songs. And they had some Susan Rogers in there as well. I think that was all they had on there, aside from Prince. But what I was saying was I saw somebody sort of mention that, and I know I can tell you for a fact there are more episodes coming, and there are going to be other people that they're going to spotlight and feature. So let's be clear. They're going to include other people, and it's coming. As I was listening to those so far, and again, I'm reserving judgment because it's not all out yet, but I just listened to that, and not a lot of that was new because I'm a super fan, so you know a lot of it. But I just want to be clear, like Prince, he didn't and he doesn't need anybody. Like he was the shit. Before that, after, and everything else. I love the contributions Wendy and Lisa put to it. Some of my favorite Prince collaborators or, muses and all these. I love Wendy and Lisa's first album. It's one of my favorite all-time albums. They're dope. What are you talking about? Susanna. I get it. Like, there's been a many of beautiful, great women who've influenced Prince, ever been in a relationship with them, whatever, love them, salute them all. But I just want to, I'm just speaking as a fan, and I'm speaking as a I don't give a fuck what you think sort of thing. Prince was dope before he met them people and after. They contributed, yes. But I don't know, a certain part of me, just a small part of me was like, I get this. I get it. And I salute them. I love them. But whether or not they would have added their bits to Prince's songs or not, that shit was already fire, in my opinion. Them songs was already fire. Prince was already the shit. We're talking about a time after all them other albums, right? We're talking about after Dirty Mind, Controversy, 1999, Purple Rain. He was already the shit. Now you coming in and him saying, hey, go ahead and add this, add some sitar to that song or sing harmonies on this. Beautiful, dope. But if he would have took them elements off, which on some of them songs he did when he released them, they was already banging. So I hope they push through. You get through when you're hearing all this stuff. And I say this for even the episodes that come after. We're talking about Prince. Stop it. It's okay to just say, you know what? He was the shit. He didn't really need us. Yeah, I added a little something to it, but let's keep it a buck. If I didn't add nothing to it or wasn't asked to be a part of it, it was going to be the shit anyway. Because I just came, he let me, he said, here go this song. See what y'all can do on it. What he gave us was fire. That's why I need to hear them say that. Like, what's that song, Strange Relationship? You go listen to the Strange Relationship that we've been circulating in the bootlegs, you know, when Elisa contributed. And you go listen to the version that's on the record. And I believe there's going to be another version on this that was before their input too, I believe. That song is banging. So didn't nobody make Prince or open his ears? No, you didn't. Stop. Because if that's the case, you know, we in a receipts world. We'd be like, okay, when you left, where were your jams at? See, that's the thing when a lot of people be asking, oh, yeah, you know, I helped do this. First show. Okay, where your? Okay. Yeah. So there's a few people that got bangers that ain't got nothing to do with Prince. And you know who they are. They got bangers. You already know. But let's just be like, man, let's not make out, and we're talking about Sign of the Times, the album, which is one of Prince's dopest pieces of work. Let's not act like he ain't the all to be everything that got to do with that. Like he's what made that shit dope. Eric, can you add some horn lines in? Fabulous. And I'm a Eric's please stan. But let's keep it a buck. I need you to add to my dopeness. You're going to make some salt and pepper and make it even more dope. But we're talking about Prince. We're not talking about, you know, Kool-Aid Knucklehead Johnson down the street who got some, he can play a little bit of music, but let me fine tune him and bring him up to. No, we're talking about Prince, who's at the upper echelon, and he's what you want to be like. And he's allowing you to get down on some masterpieces. I'm on my rant, but I'm just saying.
You know, everything you're saying is kind of reminding me of Dr. Dre. It comes out after the fact, you know, Daz produced a certain song, or Hitman or Mailman did it. The thing is that what's really the difference between the people that were in Dre's camp that helped with Chronic and 2001, and the people in the Prince camp, is they'll be like, yeah, I started that beat. But make no mistake, if Dre didn't touch it, it ain't a hit. Facts. And they'll give him the props.
Facts.
He's like, there's something, when I gave it to him 75%. That 25% is what made it, that Dre put on it, is what made that a banger.
Yeah, and that's a good example because there's only a couple of people in that camp of the Dre thing that went on to have bangers without the Dre stamp, or you can, and Scott Storch, if I'm saying his name right. Yeah, he did a lot of those Dre songs on the 2001 album, like Still Dre and all that. But then when he stepped out and had his own name on it, bangers. Like it's okay. So yeah, you did that. You did it before. And I would even give my guy Daz. He got bangers without Dre's name on it. So that's what I'm saying, the same thing. Like, that's cool. Yeah, you probably was in there. Okay, show me your work. The teacher would be like, okay, well, yeah, you were part of a team. Now let's see your work. Is it on the same level? Might be. It's debatable. Well, Prince had a machine behind him. Okay, I give you that. But in the 90s, he didn't have no machine behind him. He just putting it out and he still had bangers. Still the same quality for the, it's his sound. So I'm just saying, man, like, I dig it. And I'm saluting the official Prince podcast. Let me be very clear on that. Salute to Dwayne Tudor. Salute. But I'm just saying, but we are talking about Prince. And Prince, unlike these other artists out here, is the absolute shit. You can just put him in the studio by himself and he's coming out with some shit. You can put some of these other people in this by themselves and they're just gonna sound like some shit. Okay? There's a difference, motherfucker. That's all I'm saying. So let's not act like he had all the, he was only great because, it was great because they had this, yeah, and stop it. That's a new shirt we're gonna get for Purple Community. Prince was, yeah, and stop it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back talking about movies again, and we'd be remiss not to mention Chadwick Boseman, man. What a loss. He was 43 years old, I believe. Colon cancer. T'Challa himself, James Brown, Thurgood Marshall, Jackie Robinson. His dude has done iconic roles in such a short amount of time. Was on his way to probably really be one of the forefront of the Marvel Cinematic Universe and just doing great things in general. And that was tragic news when I was sitting down at my desk and I saw something go on my phone. I was like, what? And then my phone just started blowing up. My mom called me, my brother calls, oh man, I had to call the kids. But just tragic. Good brother. But I wanted to have a conversation about what we think they should do with Black Panther 2. I think we'd have a little bit of space time where we can sort of talk about that and it's not disrespectful. But with that said, I'm going to go to Ampu and get your thoughts, sir. And give us your thoughts about Chadwick, of course, and then Black Panther.
You want to come to the problematic brother first, huh?
Oh, I didn't know you was problematic.
I see how you do it. I
don't see you that way, brother.
Yeah, it really is a loss, and it just kind of put the last 4 years somewhat in perspective. I put up on Facebook, there was an image of him doing a Wakanda pose, and it's funny that as time progressed, you saw his enthusiasm for doing that pose and picture just wane. And people were like, yeah, he's sick and tired of that pose. He's sick and tired of, I know he's tired of being asked to do that pose. And, now that you think back on it, he found out that he had colon cancer in 2016. He's been fighting it since then. And it probably had nothing to do with him being tired of being asked to do that pose. It probably was more so the day that they took that picture, he was probably having a bad day from trying to fight to live. And it just really, really got to me like, damn, we really didn't know that brother's struggle. Apparently he didn't want us to know his struggle. And the fact that he was able to commit to such a very important role that we now see for Black people, for Black children, Black youth. And then he did, I believe he did the Thurgood Marshall story. He did 21 Bridges. He did so many public appearances promoting all of these films, doing all of these talk shows, being a commencement speaker. God only knows how many Make-A-Wish Foundation appearances he did. And then the fact that he did them for kids that had terminal illnesses and he was fighting for his life, it just really just makes you like have more love and appreciation for him because he did all of that quietly, apparently didn't want anyone to know. So that's just, on the other hand, it just makes you think that was a strong Black man, that this is the work, I'm going to do this work regardless of what's going on with me physically, regardless of the fight that I'm dealing with, regardless of I might not make it to see the other end of all of this great work that I'm participating in. And he went and did that. With that being said, as far as with the franchise moving on, Chadwick, he did his thing. But for me, I'd like them to recast. If I said when Carrie Fisher died, hey, get Helen Mirren. Go get I can't think of go Meryl Streep to do Princess Leia. I'm going to keep that same energy and say that I honestly believe they can get 2 more films out of this franchise before they think about either twilighting it or in the case of what you see with Thor, where they're coming in with Lady Thor, Iron Man, they're thinking about, okay, who are we going to get to replace Tony Stark? I feel like, for me, I do not want to see Shuri just yet ascend the throne. There is a further story to be told with T'Challa that I want to see play out. And y'all gonna laugh at me, but I've come up with some replacement. My first one was, go ahead, get your laugh out, Will Smith. And the reason why I say Will Smith is because he is a very likable person. I feel like there might be some pushback, not only for recasting Chadwick, but also because they're not passing it on to Shuri, Letitia Wright. So I think with someone like Will Smith, who is very well liked, he can act. He needs to work on that African accent, but he can act. I think it would really make us easy. Another one is Yolan Noel. He was the brother from the first Purge. Mike, you said he'd be perfect for Black.
I can see that. I can see it.
Fortunately, not gonna make that. However, Black Panther, I think he has the stature. He has the good looks that they're looking for. I think he's proven he can do action scenes. So I say, give it to him. Another one, it's going to be nepotism, but oh well. White folks do it. Why can't Blacks? John David Washington. I've seen him on many seasons of Ballers. Hopefully Tenet. I'm going to get into that later this week. He shows that he can make the transition to action. So that's another guy. But I think the perfect person, which will really, I think in my opinion, will welcome him back to Hollywood on the grand stage. And on top of that, I think it would really give Black people hype. And I know you're going to be saying, no, he's too old. No. Wesley Snipes.
He's too old.
Yeah, I know you're going to say he's too old. I know, but Chadwick was 43. He's 58. And you got technology. If they can de-age Robert Downey Jr., they de-age Samuel L. Jackson. They can do any. And I've seen some recent pictures. He does not look that old. So and the reason why I say Wesley is the fact that in the 90s he was trying to get a Black Panther film done. He wanted to be Black Panther, and he wasn't in the first one. I don't know why. It could have been Hollywood still ain't fully fucking with him. But I'm just thinking, like, to me, I think he could be a really good casting for it. And I feel like he would give it his all and knock it out of the box.
Interesting. Well, I would say this. I agree. I think they should continue forward with Black Panther T'Challa. You brought up an interesting point about the Carrie Fisher Princess Leia thing. I don't think you would recast Princess Leia at this time. Now, if this had happened after the first Star Wars movie came out, I would say, yes, you recast Princess Leia. That she just started. But I think with this one, we just had one full movie of the character, and then he's been featured in other movies. I think he should continue on as T'Challa. You can get another actor to play that. But I feel like the character at this point is bigger from a storytelling, mythic standpoint than the actor who plays that. And I would maybe argue most of these comic book characters in movies are bigger than the actors who play them because they're ultimately they are interchangeable after a certain time. Robert Downey Jr. is an interesting case, but he's played that character in multiple movies. We've seen him through the whole storyline, and they've killed him in the story. So you would have to, you're not only recasting Tony Stark, you'd be reincarnating him from the dead, which from a story point doesn't make sense. But with T'Challa, he's very much alive in the story, and I think it would be a discredit to the story if you somehow killed him in the first 10, 15 minutes of the movie, and you'd have to rush to that, explain that in the story. That would be corny and it's unnecessary. I think for the fans of Black Panther and what he represents, that would suck that he has to die just to bring somebody else. Like, why? Like, why would he have to? You don't kill James Bond. You don't kill Batman. You don't kill Superman. You know,
for Spider-Man.
Now you can have them have their story arc and you recast them and these characters are in sort of a different universe and you're telling the story. I get that, but they're not going to start a whole new universe for Black Panther after one movie. And of course the Marvel movies are tightly together. So you can't have a continuity story for Marvel. They ain't started doing that and they're not going to start doing that here. So to me, yeah, you bring in another person. Of course, that actor is going to have to fill some big shoes. So you're going to get somebody who can really put it down and make it their own. And Chadwick laid the foundation and is the template. But Black Panther is the thing. And I just think for all the kids who this was their first time seeing, a big superhero, black actor, action type movie, sci-fi element, we don't need to take that away from them because the actor, unfortunately, is not here with us. And I don't think Chadwick would want that either. Like, he seemed like the type of guy, obviously, look at it. He's like, no, I'm going to put the work in. It ain't about me. I don't want you feeling sorry for me. I'm going to handle my business. I'm a man. Me and my family going to handle our business, but I'm going to get in this work. I want you to love the art that I'm going to create. And I want you to look at it as a piece of art. I don't want you to look at it as some sympathy piece. Oh, well, he's sick. Let's go watch the Five Bloods because he's sick. He obviously was going through it in that movie, right? Didn't say nothing about it. Just went in and put in a dope ass performance. He played a solid brother in that movie and said, nah, this is about this movie, man. I want them to feel the movie. I don't want them watching it. Oh, because he's sick. Let's support him. So he's not that type of dude. So I wouldn't think he would want Black Panther to be done as some tribute and then just cancel it out or shift the storyline in a weird direction, not because the story dictated, but because real life dictated. That's not storytelling. So I say you give him the tribute. Obviously, you give him props through that movie, whether it's at the end of the movie or whatever it is, but the story must continue. I just feel like the story must go on. Our heroes to stand strong. We don't have to have our heroes die. And then we supposed to, fuck that. We could still be the man too, and we salute the actor who put in the work, but you don't stop the whole thing because the dude, we carry on. So I just think it should go. Now I can understand people who want to say you should hang it up. I do understand that. I'm sympathetic to that. With that said, Big Sexy, what are your thoughts?
I think a lot of people, because this is still, fresh in everybody's, mind and hearts, I think a lot of people wanted to see on screen that appreciation and love for Chadwick through the character. That's why I think a lot of people wanted to try to do like they did Iron Man at Endgame and have that scene where all of the universe was there, paying respects to him, but like you said though, that just would cheapen the story, because in the next film, whatever it's going to be, you can't come out and just kill the guy in 15 minutes just to satisfy that emotional reach. It does need to go on. I've come around to your way of thinking. I was in the camp of, let's put it to rest, but no, it needs to go on because that's what the story is. And as far as how or who should carry it yet, I don't know, but it should go on. And at some point down the line, then they could do the Shuri Panther thing, just like with Thor. They're talking about doing the Jane Foster Thor, and Thor has had 3 films, so they didn't rush that, and they shouldn't rush what they're going to do, with T'Challa either.
Right. Yeah.
But as far as Stark goes, assuming that they do have the Fantastic Four in the MCU, there is your new big brain, Reed Richards, who is smarter than Stark by a lot.
Well, one of the things I did say is I said maybe I went a little too hard at Disney and Marvel with the way that they haven't had a full plan for the success of Black Panther. Just me thinking that there's no way they didn't know about this. I just really, again, it's just me. Now, his family and his friends have come out and said nobody outside of his circle knew about this. I'm sorry, I'm still finding that hard to believe. And I just was thinking like, okay, maybe I need to stall Disney out. Maybe the reason why there hasn't been this a full-on plan and why Black Panther 2 didn't get greenlit for 2022 is because, they're, trying to be respectful of him and giving him the time to, get better and beat this. Now, I don't know. I just really feel like I just cannot believe that, some of the higher ups at Disney and Marvel did not know, and that they were just taking their time to see, okay, is he going to recover? How long is it going to take for him to recover to do this? Now I say that, and he did these other movies, but as we all know, there's one thing for you doing Black Panther, and there's another thing doing 21 Bridges. They just ain't the same level.
Right, and he did Endgame and Infinity War. I mean, he's done. He's been doing a lot of stuff, but they probably would never come out and say they knew anyway. Right? I don't know if that would be strategically make a lot of business sense for them to put that out there like that, but who knows? They know now, and I'm curious to see what they do, but I hope they continue forward. We need Black Panther to continue forward. That's a big deal. Just imagine all the people that went out. Now imagine how we're going to really show up and show out for the next one. Just for the respect, you know what I'm saying? Like, so now they really got something on their hands. So this is put a lot of, I don't know if pressure is the right word, but it's definitely going to put a lot on, what's the young brother's name, the director?
Ryan Coogler,
and everybody involved. Like, we really got to step it up because now, you know what I mean? Like, it's even more important that we
they're going to judge it.
Yeah.
They're going to judge the new T'Challa against Chadwick, and Chadwick's dead too.
Of course.
So, yeah.
But they're going to also probably that's also going to bring a level of it's okayness to it, where they're not going to be as judgmental because it's all right. We come in, we know what you're stepping into. We have so much love for this movie before. Now we got so much love for Chadwick and his passing, and we got so much love for y'all now that y'all can even come back. You know, it's like when the families dealt with a family member that passed, and we're going to surround that family and show them a lot of love. I just think that's what's going to really happen. People going to be like, man, I'm supporting this. I know it's hard. They got to redo, come with somebody new, but I'm really going to show up, man, because we got to show them, the newcomer, a whole lot of love. So I guess whoever they do pick, if they do, I think people are going to be, you're going to see when they show, they're going to be clapped. It's all, you got this. Yeah. Okay. You know what I mean? I think we're going to really show up and be like, man, you did your thing, brother. Yeah. Oh shit. And again, if they come with the same dopeness that they came as the first one and how it just was so impactful, they're going to knock it out the park, man. Like they have to. Now they really got a lot just of, I can't wait to see what they do.
The question I have is, as we learned in Rise of Skywalker, that they had some unused scenes from not only The Last Jedi, but The Force Awakens. Do you think that they do have some deleted scenes of Chadwick? And what would be the response if they inserted that in, or just to give one last, applause to Chadwick as Black Panther, give the audience one last look of Chadwick in the Black Panther costume?
You mean inserted in the movie?
Yeah, or do you think no?
I don't see how that would make a story sense. Like, why would you have a different actor?
No, I was just thinking, just because as you were saying, people wanted to come out and what they could do for tribute.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Well, I mean, I think they did that already on. They had some kind of special on TV or something. But of course, you could have some thing at the end. I would assume every movie's got uncut scenes, so they would have footage. Yeah, definitely. I just don't think you do that in the movie.
Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't put that in the movie.
Well, you could do it at the credits, over the end credits.
Right, that's what I'm saying, after the end or something or they did a whole thing before. It was just a small little tribute piece. But again, they've done that already. But yeah, I could see them doing that. But I wouldn't. You wouldn't do that within the movie, though. It would make no story sense at all and be confusing. But yeah, we'll see what they do. I think they should continue and salute to everybody involved, and hopefully they find somebody. I know they find somebody. There's dope actors out there. I would hesitate not going with these big name known actors just because you'd be focused on them as opposed to the character, in my opinion. And we weren't focused on nobody but T'Challa when he played it. He was an unknown to most people, and I think that makes it a world of difference. But if you pulled in like the Will Smith or something, then that's Will Smith, and you can't escape. Like, oh, let's see what what I mean. Like, it just doesn't. It's just too much. He's too big. You know what I mean? He brings too much of who he is to it. Even if he knocks it out of the park, you still know that's Will. You see that as Will Smith initially. You're not gonna see it as Black Panther. I just think that would be. I don't know about that.
He brings too much of his own baggage.
Yeah, it's just good for good or bad.
Yeah.
Same with Wesley. Like, I would love. Then if that's the case, then you can just make Wesley Blade. How about that? You don't need to be T'Challa. He can just be Blade. But again, it's just too much. We already know that person. We need almost a freshy type face. Is that a freshie? But we'll see. Speaking of movies, and we'll get off. The last thing is, I had a prediction about movies. Obviously, a lot of movie theaters are not open, but we are seeing that Hollywood is starting to move forward anyway in releasing new movies. So we had New Mutants came out last weekend. So I think you saw that movie, Ampu, is that right?
Yes, I did.
What was your quick thoughts on it?
My quick thoughts was, I liked it. I'd give it a 3.5, maybe 3.25. I liked it. I liked the story that they were telling. It's just that they didn't hit it out the park. I like the fact that it wasn't some superhero movie. We got to save the day. It was lower stakes, and you were still trying to figure out everything that was going on inside of this asylum medical facility. And then there was a larger threat that Moonstar was bringing in with them to the New Mutants. So for me, I like the fact that they diverted from what they normally did and took a horror take on this, a horror thriller take on this. But I think they definitely could have did it much better. Maybe gotten better actors. I mean, again, you're only dealing with your budget, and maybe tighten up the writing just a tad bit to make it. It really felt self-contained, like it was a self-contained comic book story throughout the 100-issue series. But okay. I think it's worth watching. It's just it's not a game changer.
Well, let me ask you this. I haven't seen the movie. I've seen all of the other X-Men movies. Is it any better or worse than some of the other movies with Dark Phoenix and Apocalypse?
Better.
Oh, interesting.
Well, the one thing I've kept finding it hard. Now that I'm looking back on, I'm thinking like I don't remember them using their powers much. They would showcase them like, oh, here's Cannonball and he does that, and but then when it came time, like the spoilers, there's no big fight scene. There isn't.
Okay.
So I mean, if you coming into an X-Men expecting now our powers combined, let's take down the big baddie. Yeah, that's the thing. It's close. There you go. It's closer to Logan, how that played out. Again, far less powers being used.
Okay. Was it the worst movie? Like, kind of people thought it was going to be like?
No. The thing is, to me, I think it's more so a culture shock of what you're thinking of a teen superhero comic book film supposed to be. But the theme and the tone of the story, I really like. It's just that they needed to do a little bit. I think they could have cast it better and a little bit more writing to really really tighten it all up.
Okay. All right. I'll probably check it out at some point. Hopefully it hits like Disney Plus or something. But with that said, so that came out this week. Tenet, the big Christopher Nolan movie, comes out. And I think, in my opinion, I see what could happen with the movie industry. All the time, and it's always been a big thing for a long time. They would always, Sunday or Monday would always be like, okay, here's the top 10 movies and here's how much they made. And probably in the last 10 years, that has really been the big thing. Like, because you got these movies that are doing $1 billion box office, just blowing it out, especially Marvel, really killing it. And that's a big thing. Like, it was always how much money did the movie cost? It's such a big talking points of the movies. And I personally think that was made to be that way because it's especially a form of marketing. Actually, it serves their purpose for you to think like that. And they positioned it we associate the success of the box office with the success of the movies, right? That's just how we've been conditioned. And a lot of American-based products, particularly entertainment, have been presented to us that way. And I say presented to it that way for a reason. But now that COVID-19 has come and has shut down a lot of theaters, I could see the movie industry going the way the music industry has went. And I'll explain. The music industry used to be the exact same way. The sales numbers, that was the thing. Like, oh, can't wait if the Billboard comes out, if the SoundScan numbers are dropping. How much did, first week Michael Jackson sold this, or, such and such group did that, blah, blah, blah. Backstreet Boys did $1 million in a day or whatever. That was a huge thing. And that was presented to us to equate that if everybody else bought it, then you gotta go get it. It must be good because it is the number one. They sold the most, blah, blah, blah. But as soon as Napster and the MP3 and all that wave came and people stopped buying records like that, you notice they stopped focusing on how many records were sold. They used to make a point to present those numbers to us every week. And it was very easy to find those numbers. It was news, press releases, and that was how the game was sold to us, was based on those numbers. But as soon as it stopped being that way in terms of people buying, you notice how they didn't let you see those numbers no more. You have to really dig to see how many actual units were sold on a release, to the point where they stopped putting those numbers out in the public. the only way you could really find those numbers, it was if you were in the industry, and I can't think of the publication. It's like a radio thing or something, and you had to pay to be in that to get those numbers. And they took that out of the public equation. Not because those numbers did not exist. Of course, they have a sound scan. They know to a T how much those numbers were. But it began to not serve their purpose to have the narrative be about that, because the numbers were dramatically different. And they've had conditioned us to think that if this thing sold this amount of numbers, it was good. And me as a Prince fan, I know what's the numbers? And you started to notice that it started to get hard and harder to what were the numbers that no one's talking about? And then they realize, oh yeah, he only sold like 100,000 or it's 20,000. Like, huh? There's no way a major artist like that can only. The game is different. Money is made other places, but they took that out of the equation, and you'd be hard pressed to find numbers about music releases now. And of course, now it's about streaming. And then they try to go with the streaming numbers sort of tally. But of course, those are all numbers. You don't know who's streaming. You can't really take that. You take that with a grain of salt. So the numbers thing is out. I think movies may sort of move into that, because there's no way in hell you think it's going to be in their best interest to lead to you that you're so used to thinking if it's not $1 billion or, 300 million the first weekend, if they sit there and tell you, Tenet only made $30 million, you would think they're going to lead. They want you to lead with that. They're not going to push that. So I can see them, as things start to move forward, they're going to dial back releasing those numbers. And the only numbers you're going to really get is speculative numbers. But I don't think you're going to see these companies, the movie industry, push that to us anymore. Not that the movies aren't good. It's just that there's just no way they're going to get those numbers for quite a bit of time. Because we still, you didn't do $1 billion and you ain't successful like Marvel. Hey, Marvel ain't going to be doing $1 billion either. I guarantee you, they're not doing $1 billion. Matter of fact, right? Disney put that movie out, Mulan, this weekend on Disney Plus. Now, I'll be very curious if they release the numbers to us next week or whatever, or Monday. Because why would they do that? That's their internal numbers. Nobody else can verify what those numbers are except for Disney. So there ain't no sound scan. It's just all speculative. I bet you we'll start to see that part of the game pushed way to the back. It's the same way when Trolls and all those came out. Yeah, there was initial numbers being presented, but there was no way to actually verify what those numbers were, because as we all know, the same with the Netflix and them, they'll tell you, yeah, it was the most viewed on our thing, but they ain't gonna tell you the actual numbers, and there's no way to verify. So they could be lying. And they're not, Apple, I don't know if they release the actual numbers. They just tell you what a number, but they don't know if it's fake streams or all that. So I think the movie industry is going to start to move away from that. And I'll be curious to what they use as the marketing tool then. Are they just going to just purely go on the quality of the movie, or do they have to have something that we equate to success? Because I'd be curious to see what happens with this Tenet, which is a major release. But even if everybody did go to the movie theater, still going to be very low numbers than what we think. And but with that said, this is something interesting. Because I was looking at some of the box office. Like the New Mutants came out last week. I think it only did was it 7 million or something like that? Now, some people will write that off and say, well, that movie wasn't going to, there's so much bad press about it. Okay, sure. Tenet came out overseas last week. And I want to say, I don't have it. Oh, I'm looking at the thing. The soft, it did like 9 million in China, which they consider the soft box office for Tenet. But here's the thing. And I'd be curious to see between the difference between the American market and other places. There's a movie in China that came out August 28th. You know how much money that movie has made so far? Versus a movie like Tenet, which I think did like 30 million in China in the first week or something. There's a movie called The 100. Came out in China August 28th. That movie currently is sitting at $277 million.
Damn.
Whoa.
And that's in the COVID world. It's a war movie. It's apparently like a big spectacle type of movie that, you got to see on the big screen. But it's about China. I think the Shanghai battle that happened. It's an on code type of war epic movie. But they're going out like it ain't, like they're going out to that like it's Star Wars or a Marvel movie with the restrictions. I'd be curious. So obviously, on one hand, there are people going to go to the movies to see something. That is China. It could be different in America, but I never heard of this here in the States. I assume it in the movie industry's statewide interest to tell us about this, because then we would be like, well, how come our movies ain't hitting like that? Again, because we equate the success of the box office with the movie must be good. And if they got movies out there that are blowing American movies out of the water, they ain't gonna lead with that story. They don't. Why would they want you to think? Because then we think our movies are trash. So, so my whole point is to say, I bet you they'll move away from this whole box office number deal, and I wouldn't be surprised if they start holding those numbers back too. But go ahead.
What's confusing me and I don't get is, I don't understand, why did they release Tenet? Did they? I get that there's no real timeline to normalcy where the films will be able to perform at pre-COVID levels. But at the same time, I'm sure he's put tons of money into this film. Aren't you going to try to get your return on your investment? I just don't understand, why are they putting it out now where there's really a cap on how much money they can make off of this?
Well, then I guess the question, but then when do you put it out? Like, how long can they just hold on to these movies?
Shit, look at Netflix. Apparently 3 years, because what was it, Project Power? That was shot 2 years ago.
Yeah, but there was no promotion on that movie. No one knew about it. They just kept it on the shelf. Just been kept on the shelf. They didn't spend any marketing. I mean, they had already started marketing this movie a while ago. They've already spent millions of dollars promoting it, and it was a worldwide release, not just something on TV here. So they've already been spending millions of dollars around the world to hype this movie. At what point then do you put it out? Do you think that the movies are going to turn around by a year from now today? That if you put a movie out a year from now, you'll get the return that I don't know how they know, or who knows. And I guess they're like, shit, we got to do something. We have to have some money coming in. Maybe they can make, again, that's what I say. We equate the success of these movies based on the narrative that at the end of the week, it has to make a certain amount because that's what we've been told. But that doesn't necessarily mean that is the facts of their business. They may be like, well, actually, yeah, okay, let's say it does 50 million in China. We put it out in America, it does another 40 million. And then we put it out on VOD, it makes another, who knows, $30 million or whatever. I mean, they may be making more money than we know about. I mean, obviously, we don't know what makes a success of their movies because we ain't in that business. But maybe that's why when you look at Marvel or DC, Marvel, but Sony, I'm tripping. When you look at Disney, they said, let's put this Mulan out. We're not going to hold that back. Now, they could be saying, let's test it. And you think they can just test a couple $100 million movie like that? But maybe they know we're going to make our money. We'll put it out in China. States will put it out on the streaming. People will pay $30. Maybe they know that this is how much these movies really need to make to be successful to us, as opposed to the numbers and narrative that we've been pushing. They're not splitting the movie with the theaters here. So it's a purely that's their $30, right? Plus you paying them $7 the other to be a part of it. They could be making good money on these movies. We just have no idea. What are we really basing it on? We're just basing it off of box office, what we've been told week after week. That we don't really know. What's the shelf life of these movies? Does it make this amount this year? And then they know that projection-wise each year it makes a certain amount of money all the time? Or does it just like a one and done thing? So I don't know. I mean, the game is going to have to change because they don't, how long do you hold back and you're not making any money? You're not putting out no product, but you spent all these years, you spent 200 million, maybe 500 million all told with promotion. And now you're not going to even release nothing. I don't know how, again, maybe they have to start making moves. Like, business has to move forward. And you have to retool your marketplace. You're not going to just pause. It's just like if you had a business that was a storefront and it's, man, there's nobody coming to buy stuff. Do you just close your business and wait for the coast to clear? Some people got money that they can do that. Some people are like, man, we got to keep operating. We just got to figure out a different way how to do this. Maybe we sell the shit online or curb service or something, but we can't just close it up. So I don't know. I just think that they must obviously feel like they got to keep moving forward. I just think, that's why I say, I think they may have to retool to the audience what we think is success. We think they can't release these movies because they ain't going to do billions of dollars at the theater. But obviously they must have a different game plan because they're moving forward. Now, some of these movies, they holding off, right? Wonder Woman, they still holding off. But how long do you think they're going to hold off on it? And maybe they're watching Disney to see what happens with that Mulan. Like, shit. They making some money over there, man. You know what? Let's get this shit out here. And that could change the economics of the game. Maybe they realize people will pay $30 to sit at home and watch a movie. There isn't much of a case study to show that. So maybe this might be that case study to show. Yeah, let's do it. They did it with Trolls. Okay, now a big dog is doing. So I don't know. I just think we're starting to see a different thing. But at the same point, you will see that there are movies that we know nothing about here domestically that are killing the game. Right? Like I said, that movie, The 800, they doing big numbers. And they ain't even playing over here. So there's a whole other market out there, obviously. But anyway, you guys still with me? You guys are super quiet.
No, yeah, I'm.
I think
go ahead.
The lack of musically, that is, the lack of sales numbers, that's been reflective in the huge drop in gold and platinum certifications lately too. I mean, the singles are still doing what singles do, but as far as albums go, no, not a lot. And
didn't they sort of change the rules a little bit on?
Yeah, they're trying to adjust it for streaming,
right? Which
is bullshit,
But see, you know why they do that? Well, in my opinion, why they do that? Because they know they've conditioned us to think like, oh, we went gold and platinum. If they can't say there's no gold and platinum, then we don't think it's a success. So they got to change the rules to meet that marketing we got to say it's a gold album. So man, just change the numbers and let's include that because we still got to have we've trained those people to think that's important. So
8 streams is worth X amount of sales.
Right.
Fuck out of here.
I wouldn't be surprised if the movies they'll do the same thing. That's what I said. They just what if we just take the numbers out of the equation? We don't have to answer to that no more. and then again, if it's all internal, we can say whatever number we want to say. I mean, how can they really call us on that shit? How can they really call out? Was that Universal that did Trolls? Like, unless you see their receipts, you don't know what they sold. Like, they could tell you whatever they sold. They could tell you the high end of the projection, but the actual receipts could be something totally different. But there's no outside service that they need to tell their numbers to. Ain't no sound scan. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they, and I think that's why you see, I think even Disney does this, Disney Plus, they have the top 10, what's streaming right now. It doesn't like, have you noticed on your Netflix, they have they'll list the top 10 movies when you scroll. I think they do that because again, they understand the conditioning of the public and they have to be able to show something to equate to the success. And it's got to be some sort of chart. But you notice what they don't show on that? They're not going to show you how many actual streams is on. They're just going to show you like, this one is at number 1. This one's at number 2. They're going to show you the actual numbers. because that ain't in their best interest. So they're like, just give them something. And if you notice, I would imagine most of those that be on the top 10 are the Netflix shows. So it's all positioned to make them look like they're winning. But again, they gonna eliminate the. We're so used to seeing the actual numbers. They gonna eliminate that shit. Fuck. You don't need to. That's not good. It's not good business anyway. Like if somebody was counting your money, you don't want them to see your actual money that you got. You just want to know that you winning. That's it. So they're like, yeah, fuck that. Don't show them no real numbers. So that makes sense. I get that part of the game. They have to give us some sort of chart. That's just how we've been conditioned to equate things. But anyway, what else do we got?
With that being said, with Mulan, I watched it last night with my oldest daughter, and I have to admit, I really, really liked it. I enjoyed it. Now, watching this story about ancient China and the imperial kingdom fighting off someone who wanted revenge for the death of his father, I'm thinking to myself, like, there's no way this movie is going to perform well in China. Because I was thinking, like, okay, this is good, and as an American, this is I'm being blown away by the action, by the story, by the authenticity, allegedly, of these Chinese actors portraying this Chinese stories. But I'm like, in China, I know they got to look at this like, okay, this is some bullshit. We've been had these stories. Overall, the acting was good. The actress who played Mulan, she did her thing with the actions, with the action scenes. I saw my boy Donnie Yen, he was in it. I'm just thinking, like, how do you have Donnie Yen in here and you don't give him more action scenes? So I was a little disappointed by that, but it wasn't about him and his character. It's about Mulan. They don't have the dragon in there, in case y'all didn't know. No, there's no cameo. There's nothing that makes you think back to the dragon's name was Mushu, that was played by Eddie Murphy. He ain't in it. Kind of disappointed, and what makes it even interesting is the fact that they do have magic in and fantasy within the film, but they just don't have this talking dragon, talking lizard character. I highly recommend it. You got girls, definitely watch it with your daughters. At the end, to me, I felt like they needed one more scene. Okay, the story is 30 years old, so I'm not spoiling anything.
Well, I've never seen it, so don't spoil that for me. I've never seen any of it.
Well, for me, I wanted one more scene of Mulan. It just kind of went to black, and I'm like, wait a minute, we're not going to see the aftermath of that? Okay.
How did you feel? I mean, did you feel a certain way paying the money to buy that, or are you cool with it? Was it worth it?
Yeah, I think we should move on from that.
So you didn't think it was worth the $30?
No, I didn't. Pay the $30.
Oh, okay. Wow. Well, there you go. Put him on the spot.
Yeah, we find our ways. But yeah, here's the thing, because there was only just two of us that wanted to see it. If all of us wanted to see it, absolutely. There was no other alternative. Absolutely. It makes sense. There, $30 for 5 people, and you don't have to pay for
and it's yours.
Concessions. Yeah, it stays in perpetuity
as long as you have an account on the thing. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. So yeah, I didn't see any problem. My daughter asked the issues like, well, why don't we do that? And I said I don't want to, but if I had to, yeah, I would. Because I mean, it's like I said, when I take y'all to the movies, I'm out $60-$70. Because y'all gotta have a hot dog with popcorn.
Shit. Get your hot dogs at home. You put them wrap them up in paper towel. Say, shit. You can have 2 of them motherfuckers. How about that? Because them hot dogs at the theaters were like $8, $9 for one dog. You can get a whole pack of them motherfuckers. $3.
I do be thinking like, I can go to 99-cent store and get a pack of 8.
Yeah, shit.
You want 7?
We stopped at the 7-Eleven on our way.
That's what I started doing with the candies and whatnot. That's what I started doing. I'm like, make sure you bring your purse. We can do this.
There you go. Get your bag. Put these in your pocket now. Shit. Bring a jacket, nigga.
Yeah, but if you are on the fence of whether to buy this or not, and you can't find other means, it's worth the $30. I'll tell you that.
Okay.
It's definitely worth it. It's a good film.
And that's an interesting thing because it's actually $30 until they just add it to the regular lineup of Disney Plus. Then it'll just be a part of the regular subscription. So you're kind of paying to see it early. So, and I wouldn't have any problem with that. I probably wouldn't have seen this movie anyway, so I don't know if I'm going to actually watch it, but let me be clear. If it was a new Marvel or Star Wars movie and they did like that, I'm day $1. I wouldn't bat an eye. So yeah, I matter of fact, I've said it many times, I want them to offer the next, was it Black Widow? Please, I'll buy it, no questions asked. But I would say, offer it at theaters too for people who want to see it there,
I'll be like, I'm going to tell them, I'm like, we watching this every day for the next 7 days. We're going to get our money's worth.
Hilarious. Yeah. And, man, and speaking back at the concessions at movies, man, anybody else used to do, you guys got the Five Guys burgers out there in California? They use
Five Guys pizza here, but
Five Guys
burgers.
Pizza, interesting. But the burger joint, it still is right next to the theater. So man, me and my sister, we go in Five Guys, order up our burger with the fries, and they give that big bag. And she had her bag, we put that in her bag, get our ticket, walk up in there, unwrap them bitches. I know people smelling that like, what? Where you got? Hey, they next door, Playboy.
Yeah,
because that burger they sell was like what? I don't know, $9, $10 maybe altogether for the package. But if you try to get that in the theater, which it ain't gonna even be on that level food wise, you'd be probably $15 or something, and it ain't even that good.
There was a Quiznos next door to our to the theater I went to. I remember one time we stopped in and we got the prime rib sandwich, and I forgot what I got. I just remember the prime rib, and I'm like, yeah, let's do that. I'm down with it.
Yeah. All you do is you get that and you just ask the homie in the back, hey, can you cut that up into 3 parts and wrap each one individually, that foot long, chop it up into 3 sections? Here yours go, here you go, and here you go. Put that in your pocket. Come on. And get a can of pop. You have your 6-pack at home, the little mini cans, put that in your pocket. You good. I'm trying to save America's money.
Exactly.
I cannot lie. I cannot lie. Back when I saw Sign of the Times in the theater, I stopped by Taco Bell and got loaded up on Burrito Supremes.
There you go. Shoot. A real cold theater would have a microwave inside it.
That'd be the new thing. You pay to use the microwave.
Yeah, like, hey, the microwave's $5. You can bring your shit from home, heat it up. I'm good. This is a black-owned theater? Oh, yeah. We got you.
Yeah, I mean, that's why other than all the people who work in these individual theaters, that's who I feel bad. These executives, I'm like, no, get out. Because you guys, again, I keep saying it. The Napster popped off. They should have seen the writing on the wall that digital and at home was going to get them. And y'all still trying to price gouge us on tickets and concessions? Come on.
Yeah.
When you don't produce anything, all you do, you get the content, you don't make it.
Well, I mean, hey, that's always been the game. And salute to my guy, Master P. He said, products don't talk back.
That's right.
And I ain't mad. I had started, I was like, man, you know what? He's exactly right.
Okay.
He's got some knowledge, man.
My simple-minded ass, I need an explanation behind that. Help me.
Well, he came out with, he's got his Master P rice and all these other products versus, putting out artists and all this other stuff.
Oh, okay.
You got to deal with renegotiating with the rice and, the grits talking back. They don't want to work. Nah, man. Shit's on the shelf, making money. But,
do interviews.
Yeah, exactly. So, last one, I think. We got to at least talk about, another prediction. I was just thinking about, right now we got all these protests and this is people getting killed out here. Had the kid that shot up people. Where was that, in Wisconsin? We had that thing. And then there was just another guy locally who got killed. He had shot supposedly a Trump supporter, killed him. And then they just killed the suspect. And that happened here in Washington. And I was talking to my guy Tobias. Shout out to Tobias. And I was like, man, if you would have told me a few years ago that there'd be white people in the streets killing each other, all in the name of, black people, I would think you was crazy. I'd be like, man, stop it. What are you talking about? But that's what's going on. I mean, it's sad that you see all these killings at these protests and stuff, and these white people shooting other white people, and they're out here supposedly for Black Lives Matter and this and that and the third. And I'm just like, man, this is wild. We're in wild times. And I was like, man, this is a very interesting time where there's, it's the BLM, Black Lives Matter is really, it's been around for a while, but now it's really being out there. And from both sides, you got it's a terrorist movement, and people, no, this is a great movement. I'm seeing all these corporations and just regular people that are really pushing Black Lives Matter, and salute to them. I'm not mad at that. And I was like, man, I wonder if this was like hip hop was like in the 80s. Remember in hip hop in the golden era, you had Public Enemy and X-Clan.
Heed the words of the brother.
Yeah, it was a real conscious, KRS-One, Queen Latifah, Ladies First, really was Black Power. That was when Black Power, Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam was very much being pushed through hip hop. And that was a great time. And a lot of times we always look back, man, hip hop went to that, went back to that, and what came right after that? What changed it up? The gangster stuff really came and that was really pushed to the forefront. And then, of course, the industry became even bigger and it just went to higher depths to where we are right now, right? And I always say, I was like, man, what? And some people will say, man, I think that was systematically done to get, they don't want that sort of Black Power movement. That's not something they can control per se and market that. Let's put this other stuff out there, whether you choose to believe that or not, here or there. But I started thinking, I was like, but things do go in waves. And I was like, I wonder if this stuff right now, man, and I hope this isn't true, but I'm just kind of on my old man thinking, I hope that this current wave that we're seeing right now, I'm like, you know what? I said, what's going on right now is back in the 80s when everyone had their black medallions. I remember everybody you had to have your black medallion and, the Do the Right Thing t-shirts and the X hat. And that was the fashion. I was popular. I see this kind of the same. I'm curious to see where this goes. I'm like, right now, this is popping on a mainstream level because it's not just black people doing it, it's everybody. And I'm like, that's what you literally got white cats in the streets shooting themselves down because of Black Lives Matter. Some could say it's the fashionable thing to do now. You see a lot of people pushing that out on social media. A lot of corporations is doing it because it makes business sense. I'm like, this is the Black Medallion era. It's just now they doing that. They take it to another level. But what happened to the Black Medallion, Black Power era back then? You had the birth of the gangsterism, and that culture took over. And I was telling my man Tobias, I said, man, I hope it don't happen like this, but what you think's coming next, man? Because if you really think, and now listen, maybe we really are on another a civil rights phase where things will be different. But I'd be curious to see if it moves out of fashion to be BLM and they gunning each other down. Once it just, what happens if there's a new gangsterism wave that comes that is really pushed? Now, it may not be gangsterism as we know it, but what if the alt-rights and all these types of groups, the response would be just as gangsterism, like, what did Ice Cube say? Self-destruction and don't pay the fucking rent. And he was kind of coming in with his thing. What are BLM and all that destroying this country we're going to take this, let's hit the streets and take it back. That gangsterism comes in and then moves to the focus to that. And it ain't going to be no more Black Lives Matter. That's going to be looked at, man, that was back then. That's corny. But we're going to come hardcore in your face, bringing smoke to the streets. And that's going to be the popular thing. And that's going to be the push, the wave of, you're going to start seeing the music going to start being reflective of that. They're going to have a resurgence. Yeah, hip hop is played out now. You see what's his name? Tekashi. He literally snitched on people and put them in prison. But what happens if there's a sort of a movement of that where he's sort of not necessarily a part of the quote unquote culture, but he's a part of this other culture, but has that same energy. But I'm pushing, we're going to ride on these BLM, which, really, we're going to ride on these black folks. We're not going for that. Loke up. And you have, what should be different from back then is you actually have the highest levels of people in power and government pushing that mandate, supporting that mandate as well. And it's a whole different landscape and wave out there where we don't have to hide this shit no more. We're going to ride just as hard as the mindset rode for the Chronic, Compton's Most Wanted. Just that mindset of, oh, they sagging. It's not just in LA. They sagging all over now. Everybody's gangs with it. DJ Quick had the song Just Like Compton, was about him going across the country to other cities and realizing they was just as gangster as it was back in South Central. That shit has spread all over the place. Ice Cube had a song, My Summer Vacation. We talking about, woke up 6 a.m, in Seattle, because it was just as popping over there. And St. Louis niggas want their corner back. Well, Wisconsin, redneck motherfuckers turned up in LA. It's the same. We going hard now. So I don't know, man. I'm just saying, like, I hope we don't see the next wave come and you'll be like, man, I remember when we used to have Black Lives Matter. Yeah, and I guess it was just a fashionable thing. It wasn't nothing really came out of that. Cats started dying, and then the next wave came and they went full hardcore. We in the next 6-7 years is on some hardcore gangster, good old boys. You're starting to see. Didn't you just have a caravan they was riding through Portland and one of them got shot, but it's coming out in the open. So what if they start riding down on all the cities? Like, you know what? They ride in all these cities. We got to take back America. Let's ride. So that's why I'm like, man, that's why I'm like, you protest during the daytime, but be clear. They out here gunning people down. Now, they gunning themselves down in the name of protecting you. But how long you think that's going to go? How long you think that's going to go? They ain't going to be just gunning themselves down. And it's not going to. And if you think that Black Lives Matter, all the white kids, you don't think they're going to keep pushing that? You know how things change? What happens when they get tired of that? That ain't fashionable no more. And it goes the other way again. They've already shown you they're willing to pull the trigger. And you got people blasting people, and they say it's self-defense. Highest level of government. He said, man, that little boy, they was trying to kill him. He's just protecting himself. So they give them passes. You ain't seen none of them say, well, that black boy, he shot them people down. He was just doing self-defense. Nah, so I'm just saying, you better be careful and peep the game. That's all I'm saying. Peep game. I could be this conspiracy theorist or cynical, whatever, but I'm just giving you some of my thoughts, man. I'm like, I'm curious to see where this thing gonna go. Cause I don't know, man. History show us shit to change up. And we ain't necessarily been on the winning end of these change-ups. And I'll be shocked if we are now. Maybe we will be. But just look at I just say look at the history. You can look at all of these police shootings that have been popular and go trace back where it became popular. Eric Garner was what, 2014? Okay.
Just about, yeah.
Michael Brown was when? 2014?
I think that was 2015. Yeah.
2014. Tamir Rice, 2014. Freddie Gray, 2015. Sandra Bland, 2015. Khalil Castile, 2016. Alton Sterling, 2016. Now, if all of that happens, and I'm not shitting on him when I say this, I salute him, but if all of that happens under Obama, what you think gonna happen under Trump? We was catching hell back when it was, if I say it the way they push it, under Biden's terms or presidency. I'm neither Republican or Democrat. I'm just an American. I'm just looking at, man, we was getting gunned down on either one of these cats' watch. So what you talking about? That's all I'm trying to say. You better pull everybody's coats and ask some questions, because it's going down either way.
Sound like you asking for a handout, Mike.
Nah, I'm just asking for let's keep it a buck. I'm asking. I'm an American first. I'm Black American. I'm just an American. I'm neither, like I said, I ain't a Republican or Democrat. Both of them got our people getting blasted down. So I can't really. So all of this, when I see Trump talking about, oh, this is under. No, nigga, this under Trump's America. Currently, people getting blasted. Under the previous, we was getting blasted. So common denominator is we getting blasted. So you can miss me with all of the this under this. Nah, because either way, that'd be the first question I'd ask Biden. Is, listen, Biden, and to be clear, I'm voting for Biden. But if he was to come out of his mouth and say, well, this is under Trump's America, say, well, I'm ready to give America back to you, but actually under your America, all those killings happened that I just described. What was your agenda then? What's different? What you going to do different now that you didn't do back then when we was getting blasted? Now, I'm going to vote for you anyway, but I can ask you a question, can I?
No, apparently you can't.
So in the same way I would say for Trump, listen, man, it's hell out here. You stroking the flames of this shit. So don't tell me about, it's going down currently right now in your America, just as it was going down back then. So which one of y'all is it? Who, you know what I mean? I'm just an American, man, and I'm not trying to see us getting blasted out here. So somebody, that's why I'm asking, what's the agenda? Because when I give my vote for Biden, November, if I look back on history, unless they saying something different, it's going to be exactly it was back in 2004, 2015, 2016. Like my man Pac said, all I'm seeing is black blood dripping. So what's the difference? What you going to do?
Well, he's not going to be overtly racist. So that's progress, right?
I hope so. I hope so.
That's all we get. He's not racist.
Listen, I'm not bad. I'm bashing them both. I'm telling you, I'm voting for Biden, so I don't want to hear the whining and crying. I'm giving you the hand. I'm giving you my hand here. I'm giving you the power. Now, I say that to be clear. I live in Washington State, which is a Democrats all the way. So whether I voted for him or not, as long as they keep the electrical system going, the state of Washington is going Democrats, baby. That is what it is. But I'm gonna choose to give, because I know people want to hear symbolically. So I'm gonna actually lift the thing and vote. So let's take that off the table. That's a given. Let's just deal with the realities. Who's gonna stop the bloodshed? How do we change that from happening? That's all I'm asking. That's why I said. That's why I'm making a point to say I'm voting Biden, because I want to leave that excuse off the table. You dig? Let's just give, okay, here, I'm going to get that to you now. You got that right. Here's your cookie. I'm voting this way. Now I'm gonna ask. So now let's get to the issues. That's what I'm saying. So yeah, Black Lives Matter and all that. That's cool. As long as it can change what's going on today and what had happened last time, that's what I'm waiting to get to. Because like I said, man, it's to the point now where you got people killing themselves out on the streets, arguing and fighting. They basically gangbanging out in the streets on racial issues. And it's supposed to be for the benefit of Black lives. I mean, just say that sounds funny. You would never have thought that. You mean tell me white people be down here gangbanging for us? Oh, okay. I guess it was a different time. What's next? That's all I'm asking. What's next? So hopefully they got an answer for that. Yeah, man, that's what's going on in my head. I want to know where is this going? What's that old movie? The Creeps, The Night of the Creeps. Thrill me. Thrill me, motherfucker. I want. But anyway, any thoughts from the round table here?
Nah, you make some really great points, and this is why I keep saying, not voting for Trump. Yes, I probably will end up voting for Biden. That does not mean I cannot clown him when he definitely deserves it. Yeah. It does not mean that I cannot call out his record. The dude has authored a number of legislation that negatively affected the Black community. And to make it worse, he does not admit that it was wrong, that it did this. There's no, you can't even give us the lip service of apologizing. Instead, you on your I'm white and I say so. Nah, it actually didn't do that. It was the state. I'm like, so the state is the problem, even though it was a federal law you created and got voted. But I'm wrong for pointing that out. And I'm wrong. I'm also wrong for trying to hold his feet to the fire that no, Mr. White Man, you do not get to determine my blackness because I'm wavering on whether to vote for you versus somebody else. These are all valid criticism that I'm sorry, Sean Christopher, yeah, I'm going to put you out there. If me bringing these things up is going to affect people's enthusiasm for voting, then that candidate has far bigger issues. And as minute turns to hour, hours turns to days to week, Biden's campaign is looking a little Hillary-ish. And we saw how that ended. So, yeah, you need to have some answers. Yeah, you need to have a Black agenda, especially when you seeing people like Ice Cube saying, where's the Black agenda? When you got Tariq on his ass about the Black agenda. When you're seeing people turn it up and saying, okay, Biden, we see your record. What you gonna do to make amends for what you did, and how you gonna be different from Trump? And all you got is, well, you ain't Black. We need something. Getting rid of Trump.
Yeah, go ahead.
What was that?
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Getting rid of Trump is not the end of the work, because as you just pointed out, Mike, we was getting shot in the streets under Obama. So we get you in there to undo the bullshit that Trump did. What are you gonna do to address these issues that specifically are affecting the Black community?
And let me be clear. I give Obama props. Like, I think the Affordable Care Act is a great thing. That was a great thing for a lot of people who couldn't afford to have insurance and been working jobs and just kept working even though they were sick. So he's done some great stuff. I'm not shitting on him. That's why I'm like, I don't even have time to get into this whole, you ain't Black. Not to say it's not a legitimate thing to get into. It is. But whatever. Whoever wins, I hope Biden wins. We better be clear. Once the election, the day after the election, the shit starts heavy. No matter who it is. Okay? I don't know if they're pushing that to you to be awake for, because that's what's going to pop off. what's going to happen is either Biden going to win, Trump and his people are going to turn the fuck up. Okay? They ain't going to give it up. He didn't already told you that. They ain't. We'll think about it. Are you going to give up? Maybe. That's a signal to we're gonna tear this motherfucker up. We ain't going. The other way is going, if Trump does win, all the people that's already out protesting gonna turn up heavy. And that's gonna already Trump and them, already the law and order, they ready. They're and all the militia groups ready. So either way, it's gonna turn up. You better hope what's probably gonna happen, them votes are gonna show that, I bet you somehow it's gonna show that Trump won at first. And they're gonna start counting all them goddamn votes, and a couple days later it's gonna show, well shit, Biden won. And it's all hell gonna break loose. Oh, this is fake. Oh, they're cheating. They setting the stage. No, and they're gonna be. You think they're fighting and killing each other in the streets now? Watch what happens. And that's why all of this. That's what I'm saying. All of this, Kamala Black or you ain't. Man, that's kitty talk. Let's just go and give them the list. That's what I'm saying. I'm just gonna give you the vote because I don't have time for that. This couple months here is games. It's going to get hot the couple days after the election. Either way, I just hope us, when I say us, I say black people, black and brown, or people of color, you better be on code because they're not playing around whichever way it do go. That's why I said back in 2014, shot down. Right now, shot down. Only a couple months later, you think it's gonna be all we won? We ain't won shit. Now it's just gonna be. It's just like no. It's after school time. And remember, when it was after school, it was 3:00. It's time to fight. You didn't win shit. School is over, nigga. Now the homie, that bully standing on the corner, you ain't walking down the street without confronting that. You gonna have to put in some work. So it's about to be time to put in work. All of that in school, and which clique are you in? I'm in this clique. Okay. After school, though, at 3:00, clique don't matter what clique. Are your homies gonna be standing on the block ready to put in work, or did them niggas go walk around the other way and let you go walk home by yourself? Because that motherfucker's standing right there, and you somebody gonna have to fight. Click. So hopefully you clicked up for real and your whole posse is out there ready to put in some work because that's what's about to. And when that happens, it ain't gonna be are you on Grape Street or no, you ain't Crip cuz you didn't really, nigga, you on this block, then you a Crip, nigga, because that's blood standing right there. It ain't gonna be no, you ain't black and nigga, you either in this or you ain't. Because it's time to go now. They don't care nothing about that. They was internally beating each other's ass on the street for a while there, but now it's 3:00. They're clicked up. They're standing right there. They've been showing you, they've been banging this whole time. They had their rags out in the open the whole time. Now, which rag you gonna put on? You gonna act like you ain't got a rag on no more? They're going to beat your ass. So you might as well put the rag on and step up because it's about to be popping. No one on the block is immune. Otherwise, how you going to get home? You got to go over that way. So that's all. I'm trying to break it down on that level. See, no, you're going to have to put in some work. There ain't no way about it. So all the little fighting and fussing... That's why I say, go on and just give it. Here, man, just put the rag on. Was that like at the end of the movie of The Wanderers? Remember that old movie? And they was at the football field. And do you remember that one, Mark? The Ducky Boys?
Oh, yeah.
That whole squad of motherfuckers just came through the shadows, and it was every gang had the link of the Asian dudes got down, the gang, and even the dad came off the field. And, nigga, we're putting in work. It ain't nobody not gonna get. They gonna ride on all of us. So all the gangs got on code against the Ducky Boys. Ducky Boys didn't give a fuck about the Wans, the Asian gang.
Don't fuck with the Wans, man.
Yeah, the Wans. Everyone clicked up. Go watch that movie. That's why I'm like, yeah, it's time to listen. The Ducky Boys, they came through the fog. They became deep. And the parents had to get down in the field and put in work because it's like, ain't nobody going home, nigga. We all gonna have to put in some work. Anyway, I'm finished, man. Y'all got me out here tripping. I've been drinking this energy drink called Bang. It's the new shit they got out on the streets. Cotton candy edition. Yeah, I'm that guy. So this thing got me turned up. Woo!
You referencing The Wanderer.
I know, right? But if you haven't seen that movie, God, I used to love that. It used to come on TV all the time. It's a black and white movie. That was one of the original hood movies.
Wait. It's not in black and white.
It's not in black and white?
No.
Well, I think maybe I just had a black and white TV. I exposed myself. Exposed. But yeah, The Wanderers. I used to love that movie, man.
It came out in like 79, I believe.
Okay. Wasn't Sylvester Stallone's in that for a second, ain't he? Is he?
No.
I see. I'm getting it off.
You're thinking
oh, no,
Lord of Flatbush.
Oh, you're right. Right. No, The Wanderers is a different movie. But anyway, I'm all over the place. Yeah, I think. Oh, okay. Yeah, we're about to end it anyway. Ampool, you got to get up out of here. Or maybe here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I do.
All right. Well, we're wrapping this up anyway. Ampool, where can they find you online?
Find me at Twitter and Instagram at Ampool, and I actually got something to sell.
Oh,
okay.
Literally sell. So I'm very proud of my daughter. Not only is she a junior at Cal State Dominguez Hills, but she just recently launched her own organic and handmade lip products. So all the ladies that are listening and all you crusty lip fellas as well.
Hilarious.
I want you to head over to Pretty, Prettee Cosmetics on Instagram, or go to Pretty, Prettee.bigcartel.com. Get your skincare, your lip skincare game up. Hey, change your life. It'll change your life.
Awesome.
Fellas, and I know the ladies are going to appreciate this. Fellas, there's a reason why you need your lips just on point, moisturized and smooth. Ladies, y'all know why. Y'all know why.
Come on now, we're keeping the family thing. You had to go there. Jesus. But we'll give you a pass on that. Salute to young girl with that business.
Chanel.
Salute to Chanel.
Yes.
Awesome. I love it.
All right, good show, fellas.
All right, we'll catch you next time.
All right, man.
Big Sexy and Sack, where can they find you online?
The same regular haunts. Facebook, Mark Wiggins. Instagram, Mark Wiggins 2. And Twitter, WSE Mark.
And we got a new podcast coming from Big Sexy here very, very soon. It might come around the same time. So I'm looking out for that too, right?
Yes. It's called The Sexy Space. And, want to give my own thoughts out on a few things. So I hope you guys enjoy it.
Yes, we will. All right, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully you enjoyed that. We didn't go too rant bunctious on you. But definitely check us out at podcastjuice.net. Yo, work it like a job. We'll see you next time. Peace.